Good morning, and welcome to the opening convocation for the 2022-23 academic year. My name is Dr. Michael Self, and I currently serve as the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. I want to begin by thanking you for coming here and for really exciting me. This type of ceremonial nature is what I really was looking for in my desire to come back to HBCU. And you actually want to force me to step my game up, because this is one of the few times I feel underdressed, because as I look at my colleagues and their university regalia, I have to do better. I'm going to have to spend the money and actually buy a robe. At this time, we ask that you silence all electronic devices. You can put them on vibrate, but make sure they're not on ring. We ask you to please draw attention for the posting of the colors by the Lincoln University Blue Tiger Battalion, which will be followed by the playing of the national anthem by the Lincoln University Band under the direction of Dr. Michael Johnson. Thank you, and you may be seated. As this is a critically important event for Lincoln University, many of our leaders and officials would like to bring you greetings. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Victor Paisley, current president of the Lincoln University Board of Curators.
Dr. Mosley, fellow curators, administrators, faculty, staff, alumni, ladies and gentlemen, and especially our Lincoln University students. On behalf of the Board of Curators, I'm pleased to bring you greetings and welcome to the 2022 opening convocation. Today marks a major milestone in your education and in your life. You have decided to pursue your higher education at Lincoln University. You join a group of membership extended over 106 years, from a handful of Civil War veterans to those of you assembled here today. I first walked on Lincoln University's campus in July of 1964 for freshman orientation. I had no clue where I was headed in life. Upon graduating from high school, I had told my mother that I wanted to enlist in the military and figure out what I wanted to do with my life later. Thank God my mother was a huge advocate for education and encouraged me to try just 1 year of college. What a blessing. If I had followed my instincts, I probably wouldn't be here today, because the war in Vietnam, which you've only read about, was raging out of control. I would have been there as an enlisted man with a good possibility of a bad outcome. I enrolled in Lincoln University and developed friends for life. My bride of 54 years, I met here. The first day on campus in July of 1964, I met my best friend in life. He was the best man in my wedding, and I was the best man in his wedding. We joined the same fraternity, and my time at Lincoln University was a blast. I couldn't have had a better educational experience at any other college. I still ended up in Vietnam, but as an officer, after being commissioned a second lieutenant upon graduating from Lincoln in 1968. I made it home safely from the war and started my career in education and on as a corporate vice president. Lincoln University gave me the foundation and the confidence at every level of society. A great military experience, even though a piece of it was war, it developed strengths that served me well throughout my life. In the business world, from first-line manager to corporate executives in record time. I believe I can compete at any level, and it all started at LU. So cherish all of your days at Lincoln University and make them memorable. Please get involved in campus life, whether you live on campus or commute. You will, as I did, develop lifelong friendships. I do believe that one day you'll stand on this stage as a curator or some other accomplished individual and share your story of success at LU. You will also pass on your experience to future students that I know you will encourage to come to LU and have a wonderful, life-changing college experience. On behalf of the Board of Curators and as a proud Lincoln University graduate, I welcome you to Lincoln University.
Please join me in welcoming to the podium the current president of Lincoln University, Dr. John Mosley.
Thank you, Dr. Self. Well, good morning. It is great to see you all that have taken the time out of your day to come down to Richardson for this event. And I also want to say good morning to those that are joining us online. I would like to think that there's nearly 1,000 students somewhere looking at their phones right now, saying, you know what, I didn't want to miss opening convocation, so I'm busy studying, but I'm gonna just tune in to my phone. I want to thank student leaders. On a serious note, I don't write oftentimes when I speak because my best words, I believe, come from right here. You all are going to be of a culture change. That at one point in your career, at some point, this place is going to be brimming with your peers. And they're going to see the value that's instilled in little life lessons like today. I'm excited to hear from our guest speaker, who you'll meet in just a minute, someone else who has sat in those seats and has their own Lincoln stories to tell. We've got to create this sense of pride that comes with being a part of the Lincoln University family. Our message this year is one of together. And so thank you to the faculty and staff and that have joined us today. I am honored to serve as the 21st president of Lincoln University. But please understand that the success of this institution doesn't sit with one person. Every single one of us has a role to play. I've used the quote many times, and I'll use it again today for those who have never heard it. Everyone may not be the star, but everyone can be the star in their role. That's from Doc Rivers, who happens to be a coach. And even in this role, in my past, many of you know my story to get to this point in my life. I don't shy away from it. In fact, I celebrate it. Now I get to be the coach of the university. But I also know that coaches are only good as their team. And so with every one of you pulling your weight, we're going to instill this sense of pride that many Lincolnites have had over the years, but maybe has possibly waned a little bit. I'm confident that we're coming back. To our students, I wish you great success this year. I look forward to the end of the year honors convocation and recognizing many of you that are here today at that event as well. To our band students, I want to say thank you. To our choir students, I want to say thank you for the endless hours that you all put in to master your craft. I wish you all well as we begin this school year, and I look forward to traveling this journey with you. Thank you. Go Blue Tigers.
Thank you, President Mosley, for those encouraging words. Now please join me in welcoming Mr. and Miss Lincoln University 2022-2023 to bring greetings on behalf of the Royal Court.
Good morning. I'm Tyree Stovall, the 20th Mr. Lincoln University of Missouri for the 2022 and 2023 academic school year.
And I am Bavari Nagin, the 98th Miss Lincoln University of Missouri for the academic year of 2022-2023. And it is our honor to welcome you to our new school year at our beloved Lincoln University of Missouri.
We hope you will find success in the classroom this year while making new and lasting memories outside of your studies.
Our student body is truly a family, and I hope that this will turn out to be a good semester and another one for the continuing year. And our other student leaders, if you are in need of assistance, once again, welcome us.
And have a wonderful year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. and Miss LU. I would also like to recognize the current Student Government Association President, Ms. Phelan Inslee. Ms. Inslee, would you please come forward and present a charge to the 2022-2023 student body?
First, I'd like to say good morning. So good morning, Board of Curators, faculty, staff, and students. I am Fallon Inslee, a senior majoring in wellness with an emphasis in kinesiology coming from St. Louis, Missouri. We, the students of Lincoln University of Missouri, us Lincolnites, commit on this day to strive for and pursue our degree of choice. Through hard work, discipline, and sacrifice, we commit to ourselves to put forth our best efforts daily. When we need help, we will seek it. When help is needed, we will answer the call. We will be educated students. We will be engaged and take charge of our education. We will be empowered. We will hold true to our core values of Lincoln University of Missouri. I would like all students to repeat after me. I will graduate. I will make a change in this world. This is our solemn commitment to ourselves. There are many things that the student body can look forward to this school year. We have a lot in store for the academic school year of 2022-2023. Students, rest assured that your voices will be heard. And if you know me personally, you know your voices will be heard. Our job as SGA is to make sure that every student's voice is to be heard and that each student is receiving the authentic Lincoln University experience. At this time, I ask all SGA members to please stand and show your faces and be recognized. King, Queen, Charles. These are the individuals that you voted into these positions. Please hold us accountable and make sure every single day that we are working to be the voice for each and every one of you all. However, at this time, we must all hold each other accountable in academics, in our behaviors, our dress attire, and our career pursuits. Know that this is a place of higher education. We, as students, must ensure that we are handling our business in and outside of the classroom. I would like to personally invite all students to our SGA meetings. SGA meets every Tuesday at 11 a.m. SGA Senate meets every other Thursday at 11 a.m., both in the SUC. Everyone has a seat at the table, as we all know. If you are not at the table, you are not on the menu. I charge all students to just simply show up. Football games, programs, classrooms, meetings, anything. Just show up and have your seat at the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Inslee. Earlier we heard from the band, and we would now like to showcase another one of our musical groups, the Lincoln University Choir, who will be singing Bonse Abba, arranged by Dr. Victor Johnson under the direction of Professor Michelle Gamblin Green. Kayla Crenshaw, Chair of the Campus Activity Board, to come to the podium and introduce the Convocation.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to introduce this year's 2022 Convocation speaker, Ms. Precious M. Hardy. Ms. Hardy is currently a Ph.D. candidate in educational psychology at the University of Missouri in Columbia. She earned her Bachelor's of Science in Psychology from Lincoln University of Missouri and a Master's in Educational Psychology from the University of Missouri in Columbia. She is a Gus T. Ridgel Fellow, a graduate student of excellence scholar, a Southern Regional Education Board doctoral scholar, and a Center for Advancing Opportunity Fellow. Her research interests include around ethnic and socioeconomic achievement gaps in education, with special emphasis in reading and math gaps. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Precious Hardy.
Good morning, everyone. I also feel a little undressed. I've been zoo too long, I don't know. But they told me I can bring my authentic self, and so that's what you'll get to. Okay? So I'm excited and I'm honored at the opportunity to be able to speak to you all at this year's Convocation. As a graduate of Lincoln University, this is a full circle moment for me to be able to come back here and speak. So I'm going to rewind, share a little bit about my background and where I'm from, before I fast forward, talk about my years at LU, and 3 important lessons that I learned along the way that I hope will help you along your academic journey. So I was born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois, which many have proclaimed as one of the most dangerous cities in America. Okay, Jonathan Kozo in his book, Savage Inequalities, identified it as one of the saddest places in the world. An impoverished, under-resourced, and all-around forgotten city. What a place, right? In fact, when I was, early during my years of graduate school, one of my graduate professors said, you're a pretty good student and you got a lot going for you. I mean, why don't you just tell people you're from St. Louis? Because, they got a better rap than East St. Louis. And I'm sure the look on my face made him regret those words, because it was obvious he didn't understand the significance of, quote unquote, making it from a place such as that and wearing it as a badge of honor and not as a stain. And I'd be lying, though, if I said that I didn't understand his reasoning, that I didn't understand his logic. Because when you're from places like that, whatever that means, it's enough. It's enough for society to form a story about you, using their data points and their charts and their graphs to paint a picture about you, who you are, what you value, how far you'll go in life, and what you'll accomplish. But I'm the author of my own story. And their statistics do not define me. And their statistics should not define you. My mother used to always tell me when I was younger, you can do anything you put your mind to. And crazy me. I believed her. I guess she wasn't aware of the data either. I graduated high school with honors in May of 2011 and arrived at Lincoln that August, and I had a ball during my time here, okay? I had a lot of fun. I participated, of course, in student organizations. I was a part of SGA, so it's beautiful seeing the SGA president here. And all of the festivities, okay? I partied a little, yeah, of course. Right? Me and my friends even tried to pretend to be Jamaican once to get into a party for free, and we fooled no one. We didn't even make it past the gate. Despite all the fun I had, and I had a lot of fun, I learned several lessons along the way. Lesson 1, envision the person you want to be and act accordingly. I knew from the moment I touched campus, I'm a loudspeaker, so scoot it away. I knew from the moment I touched down on campus, I wanted to be seen as a serious academic scholar. And in my mind, that was someone who made excellent grades and who was of service to the community. Because, as Martin Luther King Jr. said, not everyone can be famous, and I sure don't want to be famous, but everyone can be great, because greatness is determined by service. So I got involved. Okay. I knew I wanted to be a business owner one day, so I joined the student organization called Students in Free Enterprise. And this was mostly aimed at business majors, and I was a psych major, but I figured I could learn something from it. Plus, it offers students the opportunity to work with local businesses on marketing campaigns, among other things. Health was also important to me, given the illnesses that ran in my family. So I found a group on campus that, kind of prioritized health. Now, we didn't have the link when I was here, so working out was a little bit different for us back in the day, but we made a way. And when I couldn't find one, a student organization that is, that satisfied a need that was important to me, I created one. During my time here, I created an organization called STEM Alliance. It was based on some research I had done, based on a job I'll talk about a little bit later here on campus. And what I found was that students that were STEM majors, one of the main reasons that students dropped out, and this is science, technology, engineering, and math, was because the textbooks were too expensive. Now, there were other things like, mentorship and everything else, but I couldn't necessarily fix that. So I started a student organization, and the goal of that, things that we did rather, was purchase textbooks. So we purchased textbooks for every STEM course offered at Lincoln, and we kept it on reserve for those students. So that wouldn't be a reason. I didn't stop being a biology major because I couldn't afford the textbooks, because we got you. We also help students apply for scholarships, internships, and fellowships, among other things. And I, along with others in the organization, would often host workshops and different kind of talks and presentations to encourage students to go to graduate school and make sure they went for free. Because who's going to pay for graduate school? I sure didn't. So who do you want to be? That's the question that you have to ponder. And what you have to realize is that your college years can help shape you into the person you've always envisioned being or not. The decision is determined by you. Okay? And your decisions determine your outcome. So you want to practice excellence every single day. When you show up for classes, and you guys are here, so not you guys. Show up for classes, okay? If something doesn't make sense to you, call a meeting with a professor and discuss it. Say, look, professor, I'm practicing excellence, and I don't understand this topic that you're talking about right now, so I'm going to have to come to you, and maybe you can break it down differently, or we can talk about it differently and explain it in a different way. And when you practice excellence, you don't stop practicing when you get it right. This is something I learned from my dad, a high school dropout. My dad was a mechanic for 20 plus years, and he taught me this lesson. Experts don't practice until they get it right. An expert practices until you cannot get it wrong. My dad at 62, right now, can take your entire car apart and put it back together, right now. Be excellent at your craft, because excellence is unforgettable. Okay, think about the best service you ever got at a restaurant. I bet it wasn't mediocre. And I bet you remember it. You probably tipped. I hope you tipped. One of my mentors used to say, being good isn't great if it could have been better. And being better means nothing if it wasn't your best. So give your best self every single day. If not, you're wasting your time. It's a disservice to you, because the feedback that you get is going to be based on a mediocre version of yourself. And how can you truly grow from that? Write down your goals, evaluate them, and determine a plan of action that allows you to give your best efforts towards success, towards the goals you say you so badly want to accomplish. Lesson 2, be selective about your team. Okay, this is a quick one. The people you associate with can either help or hinder your goals and your growth. Now, I'm going to say that one again. The people that you associate with during your time in college can either help or hinder your goals and your growth. college isn't in college. And when I say that, I mean everyone enrolled as a student here, though we would love for it to be the case, isn't going to take this opportunity as serious. Some people are going to take it for granted. Some people are going to sleep past classes. Some people will never visit their professor's office, no matter how bad they struggle in their class. Some people are just here for the ride. It's sad, but it's the truth. And how are you going to talk big city goals with small-minded people that's just here for the ride? How can you grow around them when they got you boxed in as the same person you were freshman year? You shouldn't be the same person you were last year. You shouldn't even be the same person you were at the start of the semester. Success doesn't come from anything stagnant. And why would it? Experiences and knowledge changes you. Changes the way you think and interact with people in the environment around you. You didn't always know the stove was hot. That was an experience. You didn't always know 2 + 2 was 4. That was knowledge. Growth brings success, and success brings elevation. And once you begin to elevate, people are going to gravitate towards you. And that's when discernment is key. Because everyone around you isn't for you. Again, some people are going to help you grow, and some are not. And it's not a loud, in-your-face type of message. It's subtle. It's things like, just because you're in college don't mean you know everything, right? Or just because you're the SGA president don't mean you know what you're talking about. Take note and realize everyone in your life doesn't deserve to be in the front row. Okay? Some people in the middle row, some people so far back, they almost out the door. Okay? Final lesson. Don't fear failure. Fear regret. An individual by the name of Ridgel once said, "Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears." Our own fears are lies. When people say things like, "I'll never get into college," but you're here. You're a college student. "I'll never be an A student," but you focus on truly mastering the content and the grade will follow. Fear of failure entraps you in your comfort zone and robs you of successes that could have been. I wasn't always good at public speaking, nor did I like it. I was always a talker, but not publicly, right? So how did that happen? After completely blowing my refund check freshman year, I learned an important lesson in money management. Unfortunately, by that time, I didn't have any money to manage. I had hit rock bottom. I was flat broke, not even $1 to my name. And rock bottom gets a bad rep, but when you're at rock bottom, that's a pretty sturdy foundation to build up from. The following school year, I had not 1, but 3 jobs on campus. One work-study job as a file clerk in HR, one as a psychology tutor, and the one that challenged me the most was a research assistant position with Dr. Mara Argetti, which required me, the non-public speaker at the time, to speak publicly, a lot. In fact, there were several times I would show up to her office and be instructed to go speak to such and such class about our research project. Or I'll be told, "Oh, you're going to a conference next week." Well, no, she'll never say next week. She'll say like 3 weeks in advance or something. To go present on our research. I miss Dr. Argetti. I don't see her over here, but I know she couldn't be here today. But everything inside of me would want to scream out, "Look, no, I'm not doing that." Okay? But I did it. And I spoke so fast through my first talk at a conference, I'm pretty sure no one could make out not a single word that I said. Because I was scared, okay? I was scared, I was nervous, my palms were sweaty, my heart had to be on like 100 beats per minute. And that's what fear does to you. And I remember getting the scoring sheet back, and they were not good comments. One person even highlighted how I mispronounced a word, and I'm thinking, lady, you lucky you got a word, given the butterflies in my stomach. It was a complete failure, but I learned from it. And the more talks I gave, the more comfortable I became. And the more comfortable I became, the more successful I became, winning speaker awards and so on. So give yourself grace. Fear of failure shouldn't cripple you. It should force you to prepare. I got a big test coming up and I'm scared I'm gonna fail. Well, I'm about to study. And study all night if I have to. I'm running a meeting today. I don't really know what's going on. I don't want to look incompetent. Well, I'm going to prepare. No one is expecting you to come into college fearless and to have it all together and figure it out and be the best, but we are expecting you to give your best. Participating in anything new is likely to make you anxious, nervous, and afraid of failing, so give yourself grace. No one has ever gotten to the end of their life and contemplated their failures. Like, man, I missed that basketball shot. I really shouldn't have. I should have. No one does that. But many have had regrets about all the shots they didn't take and all the dreams they didn't chase. If you were hunted by the dreams, all of your dreams, that you never brought to life, how many ghosts would be following you? I'm going to say this in close. Ruth Canada, who at the time, my time here, was the director of student support services, told me, I want you to get a passport, and I'm going to buy it. I'm going to pay for it. I was like, okay. Because you're going places in life. But at the time, I couldn't fathom it. Like, me, this little girl from the hood, I'm going places in life. I'm going to travel the world. In fact, it was kind of scary to me. But I filled out the paperwork, I got the passport, and I did it. I went all the way to China by myself after graduating from Lincoln, actually, to teach oral English. Crazy, but I did it. And it's not an experience that I would trade for the world. And then I went on to visit places like Rome and Paris. Fear can make or break you. It can propel you or deflate you. I literally was not trying to rhyme, y'all. I was just saying. The role it's going to play in your life is based off your perception. You make that choice. I close with the words of Audre Lorde. If I didn't define myself for myself, I'd be crunching to other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. So I'll ask you those questions I stated earlier. Who are you? What do you value? How far will you go in life? And what will you accomplish? Thank you all for having me.
Thank you, Ms. Hardy, for your motivational message for our students. And I know it was intended for our students, but I think I got a little something out of it too. And I heard somebody say amen, which made me think of where I was going with it. As I listen to people speak, there's always another, I'm always looking for sermon opportunities. That's just a habit of mine. And you gave me one, because what you told me was today's failure is tomorrow's blessing. It may not be a blessing to me, but I can be a blessing to somebody else. So it's an opportunity to always be mindful that every lesson out of something has value. So I appreciate that. I would like to take a moment to recognize the members of the Lincoln University Board of Curators who are with us today. Would you please stand and be recognized? I would also like to ask any Lincoln alumni that are with us today, I would ask you to please also stand and be recognized. And before we close, I want to recognize both the band and the choir for their performances today. Truly emblematic of what Lincoln University creates and builds. Our program today will conclude with the retiring of the colors, followed by the singing of the alma mater. Please stand. Thank you. This concludes our opening convocation. Thank you again for your attendance. Be well.